While the US has focused on trade disputes, Canada has been making bold moves in Europe, aiming to shift economic power. Trudeau's team isn't just talking, they're positioning Canada as a superior trade alternative. If they succeed, European businesses could realign supply chains, challenging US dominance. The message is clear: reduce reliance on US suppliers and consider Canada. Why? Canada offers stability, competitive prices, and fewer trade restrictions. Meanwhile, the US has used tariffs as leverage, creating uncertainty. Businesses want predictability, and Canada is stepping up. At the center of this push is the Comprehensive Economic and Trade Agreement, CETA, with the EU, in effect since 2017. Canada-EU trade is already worth $119 billion annually. Even a small shift away from US suppliers could have major economic consequences. Europe is also looking to diversify its trade partnerships. NATO allies, long dependent on US trade, see Canada as a more stable partner. And timing is crucial. As the US imposes tariffs, like the 25% tax on European car imports, businesses seek alternatives. Canada's consistency makes it an attractive option. Energy security is another factor. Many European nations want to reduce reliance on US energy exports. Canada, rich in oil and natural gas, is positioning itself as a dependable supplier. The same applies to manufacturing, aerospace, and tech, sectors where European firms seek stability. Beyond trade, this is about influence. If Canada strengthens economic ties with Europe, it gains leverage in global trade negotiations. For decades, the US has used economic power to shape NATO policies, but Canada's strategy could weaken Washington's grip. The US must now decide: should it offer better trade deals to retain European business, or pressure Canada to scale back? Either choice carries risks. If Washington pushes too hard, it might drive Europe further toward Canada. If it does nothing, Canada could cement itself as a key trade player. This isn't just about one agreement, it's a strategic shift. Canada is reducing dependence on the US by expanding into Europe, Latin America, and Asia. If successful, Canada will gain significant leverage in future trade talks. Even industries like chocolate manufacturing are adjusting supply chains to avoid US tariffs. This reflects a broader trend. European businesses are actively diversifying trade partners, making long-term adjustments to reduce risk. The big question: can Canada redirect enough trade from the US to reshape transatlantic economic power? Washington is watching closely. If Europe deepens its trade ties with Canada, the NATO economic landscape could shift dramatically. The US won't sit idle. Historically, it has dominated trade with NATO allies, but Canada's strategic play challenges that. Even a modest shift in supply chains could redirect billions away from the American economy. This also raises questions about Canada-US relations. Canada isn't cutting ties, it's strengthening its position. By securing strong European trade agreements, Canada gains bargaining power in future negotiations with Washington. European leaders are taking note. The appeal is clear: diversifying trade partnerships reduces risk. The chaos of the pandemic and US trade unpredictability have made businesses wary of over-reliance on any single partner. Canada offers stability. Energy security is another key factor. With global energy markets fluctuating, Canada's reliability makes it an attractive alternative. Europe needs long-term solutions, and Canada is ready to deliver. This isn't just about trade, it's about global influence. Strengthening ties with Canada gives Europe more negotiating power, not just with the US, but also with China and other major economies. By diversifying suppliers, Europe prevents any single country from holding too much power. How will the US respond? It has two choices: improve trade conditions to retain European partners, or pressure Canada to back off. Both come with risks. If the US acts too aggressively, Europe may accelerate its shift toward Canada. If it does nothing, it risks losing economic leverage. This is more than commerce, it's about reshaping global power. Canada is no longer just America's economic sidekick. It's stepping into a leadership role. Whether it succeeds will define the next phase of global trade.